not being racist.
It's incredible to dismiss my opinion for being a white man.
No, I'm not dismissing your opinion. I am telling you that what the Latino community, the brown community in America.
Speak in one voice.
Okay, well, let me speak with my voice. I mean, you said I was being hyperbolic. Let me respond.
Racially, sure.
I'm not. You being a white man, that's an insult.
We are about to watch one of the most racist things I've ever seen on CNN, straight out of the mouth of the View's Ana Navarro. Let's go.
Trans community, yes, and they will continue to do that. What I will say, what I will say is that Republicans totally used that issue, completely weaponized, lying about what Kamala was running on, lying about what Democrats were lying on, and they did it brilliantly, and we didn't fight back enough.
I think they were
that
nasty.
absolutely
I think
true.
they were toxic
now,
in their rhetoric, but it wasn't,
what I also will say,
lie.
and what
you
see in all of the polls is that Democratic policies absolutely are incredibly popular.
Yeah, when you get
making sure to keep millions of people so that they can have their health care, so they're not kicked off of their health care, making sure that seniors and veterans and children be able to eat, because Republicans want to steal the food, taking it out of their mouth.
Question. Should people who are ineligible for Medicaid be removed?
Democrats want to defend that.
Should people who are ineligible, for example, their income is too high?
Who do you mean?
Well, the CBO estimates that millions of the people who would be removed by the Big Beautiful Bill, it's a fact, people would lose their health care. It's because they are literally ineligible for Medicaid because of the income requirement.
Hold on.
This Democratic strategist just committed the cardinal sin of denying the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office's estimates, which we know from previous segments on this program on CNN is an absolute no-no. You do not say the CBO was wrong. Maria Cardona, Democratic strategist, I believe, is going to be drawn and quartered by the CNN audience after this. According to the rules of CNN, you do not dispute anything that comes from the CBO, even if the CBO is saying a lot of people that were on Medicaid were ineligible. Let's keep going.
A second. Let me just make one quick point on that, and then I'll let you in, Phil. I mean, I think it would be a little disingenuous to suggest that is the bulk of the people.
Several million.
But out of 11, somewhere between 11 and.
But Brad Palumbo, Republican commentator, was not suggesting that it was the bulk of people that were on Medicaid that are going to be cut, but he was saying there are people on Medicaid who are going to be cut who are improperly receiving benefits today. Very disingenuous from Abby Phillip to frame it like that. 17
million Americans are estimated to be losing their insurance. That population is not a majority. It's not the lion's share. So there are a bunch of different types of people who would lose insurance, and most of them are not ineligible. But Phil, you were joining in.
Yeah, thanks. I think, first of all, there's no way in the world to say that Democrat policies are winning the day. They're not. They would have won the election had that been the case. The reality is Republicans took both the popular vote and the Electoral College. This was a sweeping win. They even took the battleground states. And there's nobody can deny that. That was the actual result. But then the other piece of this is, and what Democrats are sorely lacking in right now, aside from policy that stands up, is they're lacking in true leadership. They don't have to use your point, they don't have a central figure right now to rally around, and that's hugely important.
Isn't that what Obama is saying? Don't wait for.
They missed the days.
You
have to wait for one person, but right now, who is the leader? There is no one right now who is saying to the world, "I lead the Democrat cause, and I will rally everybody up, and I will bring them to the next."
If we actually needed that, then we would not be winning special elections left and right, everywhere across the country.
You are not, absolutely.
And you know why? It's because the candidates are running on the policies that are kicking Republicans.
Chair Michael, go ahead.
They are not.
Chair Michael, go ahead. Hold on a second. Chair Michael, go ahead, and then we'll go back to that.
It's not unprecedented when a party has had a sweeping electoral victory for the opposite party that's in a minority to see successes in some of these off elections. You know that as a strategist as well as I do.
Okay, but what does that mean? You said that if Democratic policies were winning the day, we would have won the election.
You guys would have.
Okay, well, we're winning elections now. So why can't you say our policies are winning the day?
What elections are you winning?
Hold on a second.
You can't have it both ways.
Hold on a second.
You don't have anything sweeping a mandate.
Hold on, Phil and Chair Michael. Hold on a second. I mean, Maria, I genuinely want to understand what are the policies that you think are working? Because the truth is that the tail end of the last election was about Donald Trump. So what are the policies that were there then, that are here now, that are suddenly very popular for Democrats?
The policies are the ones that will allow those millions of people to keep their health care. The policies,
you mean
the policies that Democrats...
a message that is...
The policies are free things. Everybody, with the Democrats, we have free things to give you. Those are the popular policies. Obviously, those are popular. They don't work, obviously, or Democrats would have won the last election.
Anti the big, beautiful bills Medicaid cuts.
Not really your own.
That's not a policy.
It's not just that. It's that Democrats believe that health care is a right, not a privilege. That is why you see the ACA is more popular than ever before. That is the Democratic policy. The Democratic policy that says that working class people and middle class families should be the ones to get the majority of the tax cuts, not billionaires and big corporations.
Those
policies are incredible.
Hold on. My only quibble with this is that it just doesn't seem like there's anything being put on the table that is not in opposition to what Trump is doing.
Okay, so let's be realistic, though. The Democrats don't have the White House, and they don't have either House of Congress. Right. So nothing that they propose right now even sees the light of day. And the most they can do right now is to oppose something. I am hoping that next year there will be policy debates between Republicans and Democrats running for Congress, and we will get to hear real policy differences and policy proposals. Also, I want to respond to you saying that I was hyperbolic when I talked about a reign of terror.
That is hyperbolic.
No, it might be hyperbolic for you as a white man.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly not hyperbolic for me as a Latino.
Now.
No, I'm not being racist.
Yes, you are. It's my opinion for being a white man.
No, I'm not dismissing your opinion. I am telling you that what the Latino community, the brown community in America.
Speak in one voice.
Okay, well, let me speak with my voice. I mean, you said I was being hyperbolic. Let me respond.
Racially, sure.
I'm not. You being a white man as an insult.
When you invoke it to dismiss my
being a white man as an insult.
When you invoke it.
Do you think think Latinos are living under a circumstance?
Abby Phillip was about to jump in here, and we'll watch that together too. But let's just be honest. If the shoe is on the other foot, and Brad Palumbo, who happens to be a gay man, by the way, should earn him some oppression points, didn't in this case. If Brad Palumbo says, "Hey, Anna, listen, I disagree with what you said there. I mean, maybe if you weren't a Latina, it would make more sense." What? Just to back up here for some context, Anna Navarro made the point earlier in the show that Trump's immigration policies, his ICE raids, were, quote, a reign of terror. Now, whether or not that is hyperbolic, and I think most sane people would agree it is, it's well within Brad Palumbo's rights to call it hyperbolic without being dismissed because he's white. And if the shoe was on the other foot, and it was Brad Palumbo saying, well, Joe Biden's policies to DEI, to specifically pick a black woman for his vice president and for his Supreme Court justice nominee, and to telegraph that move, and they explicitly say that's why he was picking those people. Not as a white man, but, if he were to call that whatever he wanted to call it, wrong, stupid, and Ana Navarro said, well, actually, I disagree that it's wrong or stupid, it would be completely out of bounds for Brad Palumbo to say, well, yeah, that's what you think as a Latina. Like, what? Everybody in their right mind would say, well, dude, that's racist. You can't say that. Disagree with her points on the merit. Don't invoke her race. But for some reason, it's okay. I don't know if it's because she's a Democrat, because she's a woman, because she's not white. I don't really know what the lines are. There's no rule book for what you're allowed to say to white men about. I don't care, personally. I'm not a person that gets insulted, but I just want to be playing with the same set of rules. Why are you allowed to insult my race and I can't, vice versa? I don't want to insult anybody else's races. I don't need to invoke race to win an argument because I'm not an idiot. Ana Navarro clearly is. Let's watch Abby Phillip jump in here for the last 30 seconds because Abby Phillip, who I think I respect and appreciate that she has Republicans on her show, kind of comes in here and completely lies and defends Ana Navarro in a really dishonest way. So let's watch that.
Pause on this conversation because we're about to have a whole conversation about that very thing. But I just want to make a point that, Brad, all she's saying is that her view of the situation is different from yours. I don't think that's an insult.
She basically said, I'm wrong because I'm a white man.
She just said, I see it differently.
She said, I see it differently.
She said, I see it differently from you, which is not an insult.
She didn't say, I see it differently than you. If she said, I see it differently than you, she would have said, I see it differently than you. She specifically said, as a white man, that's how you see it. Didn't mean to do that. Please disregard that. As a white man, I see it different than you. That's not what she said. That's not what Brad said. Brad didn't invoke his own race. And it's really disingenuous for Abby Phillip to say, no, that's what she's saying. First of all, it's not your job, Abby. Be the moderator. Don't be the defender of ignorance.
It's not, and it's also not a racial
insult. It's also
insult.
not an explanation why
but
it's wrong.
We have a lot more to discuss on this very topic, so we'll have some time in the next section.
It was a racial insult. I think we all know it was a racial insult. What is the point of bringing up somebody's race and dismissing their opinion if it's not an insult? I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Does anybody agree with Abby that it wasn't a racial insult, that maybe it was completely warranted and in bounds for Ana Navarro to invoke race there and make a point that it wasn't about race? If anyone disagrees with me, I'd love to hear it. Leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like here on YouTube or on Twitter. Please share with your friends. We'll see you next time.